It's that time again. Come on in hot, grab your favorite seat and your favorite beverage and sit down and relax, and let's get ready for boating news of the week. Also, if you haven't already, go over to eBay and check out our brand new Drain Plug Mafia stickers. And if you're on Facebook, check out the Drain Plug Mafia Facebook page, where you can join thousands of us in fun-loving boating conversations. Our first news story this week is going to be Catch-23. With professional sports basically being out of business at the moment in the US, news media has been grasping for anything sports related that they can get their hands on, and this week they were given a gift, as Michael Jordan's 80-foot Viking yacht was registered in the annual Big Rock Fishing Tournament in Morehead City, North Carolina. During this tournament, the crew of Catch-23 was actually able to hook onto a 442-pound marlin. This was going to be good enough to put this crew in 9th place in the tournament. This tournament had a total prize package worth over $3 million, which is no wonder why it attracts a lot of major players in the fishing game, including Michael Jordan and his boat. This did wind up being the only marlin they were able to bring up onto the boat, which did hold them in that 9th place, but it looks like they had a great time. Our second boating news of the week item is going to be that the Bahamas is reopening to private vessels. As of this Monday, June 15th, if you own a private vessel or a private airplane, you are now allowed to re-enter the Bahamas, of course under certain conditions. These restrictions do include things like having to fill out an electronic health statement prior to your arrival, and also having a negative COVID test result with you at the time of your arrival that was performed no more than 10 days before your arrival. This really is big news for most boaters, as the Bahamas is only 60 miles off the coast of Florida, so a lot of Floridians do boat over to the Bahamas as an annual summer tradition, and many of us, including myself, really didn't think this was going to happen this year. I thought it would at least be the fall before we saw this open up, but to see it open up in July, it sounds like the Bahamas might have a good start to their tourism recovery. The next item to make the boating news of the week is going to be the 2,000-pound square grouper. A few weeks ago, back in early May, the Coast Guard, along with several other agencies, were performing some narcotics operations down in the South Pacific when they intercepted this shallow-running vessel here with 2,000 pounds of illegal narcotics on board that were estimated to be worth almost $37 million. The Coast Guard said this all happened in a well-known drug trafficking area in the Western Hemisphere, and the drugs were actually transported from this small vessel here over to the Coast Guard cutter Active, which actually just landed back in San Diego just a few weeks ago, which brought this back into the news again. I'm assuming we'll start to see a lot more stories like this pop up, especially from the Coast Guard as they continue their anti-drug trafficking operations down there in the South Pacific. Our next story on Boating News of the Week really did surprise me. This was not something I would expect to see during a pandemic when a lot of the world is unemployed and people are concerned about other things beyond boating, but boat sales have actually soared to records in the last 45 days.
Business has been really strong.
Many marine dealerships are actually posting record sales numbers right now, and all that while being hindered on inventory. Many marine manufacturers actually closed during the pandemic, which is leaving marine dealers with limited inventory, which is really making a seller's market right now. If somebody has a used boat they are trying to sell, they really can hold tight and firm on their price and probably still be able to get it sold in a reasonable amount of time. Marine manufacturers are speculating that this spike in demand has to do with the pandemic itself, and people are worried that they won't be able to go to their normal vacation destinations and are still looking for something to do, possibly outdoors during the summer, and boating makes complete sense. Our next item on the boating news this week is that time again where the Coast Guard releases their annual boating statistics for accidents. With 12 million vessels registered here in the United States, it's no wonder there are a lot of accidents that happen. This year we did have some good news though, as fatalities actually declined by 3.2% from the 2018 numbers. Some of these numbers really won't shock you that much. For example, 80% of the fatalities came from drowning, and 90% of those people who were included in that number were not wearing personal flotation devices. But some numbers do surprise me, such as 14% of all boating related fatalities actually come at the hand of a kayak incident, one of the slowest things on the water. It's just a sobering reminder that it doesn't matter what type of vessel you're on, you always have to pay attention and be careful. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening on your waterway, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on that subscribe button. If not, I'm coming to steal your drain plug.